Hey everybody, this is Music Capsule slash Mr. Smiles a Lot with another Let's Talk Me to LC advice video. How y'all doing today? It's been a minute since I've been back, and I know I say that a lot in my intros, but it's kind of true because I've been busy with boxing, sparring, trying to do my workout videos, trying to do my other videos and things like that, trying to be a dad, trying to balance work, new upcoming things happening at work. There's things of that nature, right? Well, anyway, today's advice video is going to be about why following policy and rules can be a good thing and why it can make your life easier. Now, I know what you're going to be thinking. Well, he's going to be talking about this from a security officer perspective. Sure, it might be, but also I just want to talk in general from a life perspective. Look, sometimes rules aren't fair, okay? And sometimes policy isn't fair. But life is much easier if you just listen to the policy, and listen to what people have to say, and just follow the rules and don't argue. So that way you're not a nuisance to others around you or to yourself, and you don't create problems for you or others around you. Think about it like this. Think about boxing, right? At my gym, if you want to spar or become a fighter, you have to be a licensed boxer, and I got my boxing license just in order for me to spar. I'm not training to fight, but I am, training myself in sparring and boxing and things of that nature in order to better my health and to just make sure that I know what to do if I need to ever defend myself, and also just to keep my mind sharp and stable and things of that nature, okay? But the thing is that there's a rule and policy and regulation that in order for you to do so, just for a policy, that in case I get hurt or whatever, and God forbid, I would never sue my gym because I love going there. But if I ever, ever had a reason to, well, then I would have more of a legal backing as to like why I had to, because, I have my boxing license. But anyway, that's a different story. What I'm getting at here is just follow policy. And here's the thing, yes, policies might be different at one spot from another, okay? And just because it's this one way versus another does not mean that's going to be the same way at the other spot. So don't treat it as such, okay? And look, so from a security perspective, yes, as a security officer, I would love it when people follow the rules, follow what I have to say, and they actually listen, and everything's cordial, they're nice, friendly. I love those nice, friendly interactions. But then whenever you get the people who want to fight back and want to say, this isn't fair, that's not right. Here's the thing, I'm going to agree with you more than half the time. But the reason that we have these policies is because we need to make sure that we make things safe, make things regulated, and make sure everyone feels safe and that everything goes according to plan. Because the thing is that, look, sometimes there are certain policies that might be out of our range or jurisdiction or something that we can't control. So when I say I'm going to agree with you, let's say, I don't know, you say there's not enough accommodated parking. Yes, that's so true, and I'm so sorry, but the policy is like, we can tell you to go here, or there might be an option to do so of that example. Or, you might be thinking from a security perspective of like, oh, well, why is this policy in place for this in order for this to happen? It just has to be that way so that things don't go wrong or there's no more crimes committed or things of the nature, okay? Or let's say that there's a code out there, policy for code, why some people have and some people can't. That's only because the people who are supposed to be there, who assigned the papers, are supposed to be there. Anyway, look, what I'm getting at is that policies are always a good thing to have. And think about the safety of everyone around you. And think about, if we're being honest here, how the world has become and how the world is now. And how scary the world is. Don't you want to feel protected? I know I certainly do. So all I'm getting at is that when it comes to policies, just follow what people have to say, please. That's pretty much it. Look, it's not that hard, okay? I've been there. I've been young. I've been wanting to be like, screw what people have to say. I don't have to listen to you. I'm going to do whatever I want, blah, blah. And sometimes I found out the hard way, not saying I did like anything bad, but like there have been times where I've been told, no, I can't come in here, or I can't do this, or I can't do that. But the thing is that I never argued back. I always said, you know what, cool, fine. I'm just going to listen to you, and I'm going to walk away, and there were no problems and no issues. When it comes to those people who do have problems and the issues, the most important thing to do is remind them of the rules and policies and make sure you stay on that subject. Whenever they try to veer off, or they try to say this or say that, or try to distract you from what you're trying to accomplish when it comes to the safety of others, you need to stay on that subject. You need to say, hey, look, the policy is this, and it's going to be like this. Oh, well, they told me this. Well, here's the thing. That's what they told you, but here's what I'm telling you. Things like that. Like, use that verbal judo, okay? And whenever it comes to, I don't know, let's say you're out with friends, family, whatever, and you're all having fun or in general, and somebody's doing things or taking things a little bit too far, and they start to break the rules and policies, you might want to keep them in check, just so that way you all have a good night and don't end up getting in trouble with law enforcement or security or whatever in general, okay? All I'm saying is that, trust me, I've had to keep my friends in check, and they've had to keep me in check, especially if we're going bar hopping or something. But, not like it that bad to that nature. What I'm saying is that we're always like, hey man, let's drink some waters in between, let's, be smart, let's do the good thing, let's do the smart thing by doing the right thing by having waters in between the drinks, so that way, we're not getting too sloshed. But anyway, also, if you're ever confused on exactly how a policy is or what the rules are, look at the door when you first walk in. They might say no concealed weapons, no firearms, no this or that. And as long as you follow it, again, you're going to make things easier for you. You won't be a problem for anyone else around you, and you won't be a nuisance for anyone else around you. What I'm saying is that, policies are policies for a reason, okay? And remember, just because they're one way, one spot, and not somewhere else, doesn't mean it's going to be that one way, that the other spot. So don't argue, don't get mad, don't get angry, don't stomp your feet, don't say, well, I know more than you, because let me put it this way, unless you've actually been at the establishment, or if you're working at the establishment as security or as whatever in general, you don't know. Sorry, but it's true. You don't know better than them. You don't know the rules, you don't know the regulations, you don't know the policies. So, and if you don't know, that's fine, but just ask, you know what I'm saying? Or like I said, read what's on the front door, or maybe just look at everyone else is behaving. What I'm saying is that there's the rules and regulations for how people should behave, okay? And when it comes to the norm of that, we all want the norm of that behavior. So when something goes out of whack and something's out of norm with that behavior, and it makes everyone around you scared and nervous, and you are the problem and you're the issue and you're the nuisance for everyone, that's not fair for others around you. So don't do it. That's my best advice. Follow the rules, follow the regulations, follow the policies. I know I'm repeating myself a lot, and I know I do this a lot, but the reason is because I feel like sometimes when it comes to my videos, I need to embed in people's heads that there's so many simple things that we can learn in life, but we don't want to listen, and I don't know why. Or we just tend to think, oh, we don't need to listen. But we need to be paying attention, especially if we're trying to better ourselves and better people around us, especially for our mental health, physical health, whatever kind of health that may be. And we don't want to be a nuisance to anyone. I know I don't, and I'm sure you don't either. Here's another good example, I guess, if you want to say, to help end things off, is think about all the times that you've gone to like a game or whatever, a public setting in general, and then you see somebody who might be too belligerently drunk, or they might be stepping out of bounds with what they're doing or saying, or being too loud or too verbal or too physical or too whatever, and then they're not breaking, and then they're breaking the norm of what the policy of everyone else's behavior around them, and then you're kind of like, I hope that guy's okay, or you're probably thinking he probably deserved it, or you're probably thinking, I wonder what he did in order for that to happen. Look, what I'm saying is that just be, like I always say, kind, caring, loving, sweet, nice, smile at people, listen to the rules, listen to the policies, don't be a nuisance for others, and don't go out of your way to make it hard for anyone else to have a hard day. Because at the end of the day, you never know what anyone's dealing with, and you never know what others might be going through. Okay? So help out those around you by making them feel better, by knowing that you can be a regular member of society and have a normal mindset and have normal regulations and policies and have your own normal standards about yourself that's going to help you be normal in society and make things easier for others around you. You know what I'm saying? No, don't feel like you have to be a robot or anything. What I'm saying is that be silly, be goofy, be happy, be fun. That's what I'm getting at. I'm silly, blah, 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 silly, goofy, fart noises, some goofiness with all my friends. Me and my buddies, we always give each other, stuff or whatever. It's like guys would, being a, man, and One of the things that, you know, have fun with it, but like, you know, like contain it in where it's like just all of like around you. Don't like try to blurt it out and, you know, make everyone around you like, oh, look at you, like, who are those guys? Who do they think that they are? That's what I'm saying, is that like, yeah, have fun and be yourself, and, you know, but have fun to where you're not overtly making yourself look like a jerk, and then maybe you're going outside the policy of how the behavior is supposed to be set for that environment or where you are, or just like the setting of where you're at, if that makes any sense. Look, this is kind of a random subject. Sorry if I kind of ramble on, sorry if it didn't really make a whole lot of sense, but the point of what I'm getting at, and the point of what I'm going to keep coming back to, is when there's rules, policies, and regulations, make sure you're following those policies to make things easier for those around you and for everyone else. And don't be a nuisance, and don't be a jerk. And trust me, your life will be so much easier and better if you just do what the policy and the rules say, okay? Even if you don't agree with it, even if you don't like it, tough. That's just, sorry. That's just how it is, and that's how it's going to be. And I'm telling you, it'll be much easier for you to just say, you know what? Okay, thank you, have a good day, and just keep on going. Don't, this is going to create nothing but problems for you, and trust me, in the end of that, you're not going to win. You're not, sorry, trust me, I know from personal experience, anytime I have an experience with like that with someone, I always end up winning. Anyway, that's beside the point. Look, I love you all, and let's end this with some self-affirmations. You are loved, you are special, you mean something to someone. Don't feel like you don't. You're strong, and you're stronger, way stronger than you think. Don't give up. Think of everyone that's counting on you, that loves you, and has shown you love and support in everything that you do. And everyone that believed in you. That shows that they see something in you, that I see in you, that I wish you could see yourself. Think about that. See the beauty in yourself, see the beauty in what you can offer to the world, see the beauty and happiness and love that you put in everyone's hearts that you run into, and think about how special you are to others around you. Anyway, thank you all thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. My name is /Smiles-a-lot with Let's Talk Me to LC advice video. If you need a marketing advertiser, and if you live in St. Louis, please let me know. And if you need 20% off anything, please go to hkausa.com and use my coupon code, which is my name, Cobra C Capsule, all capital, all together, no spaces. I hope that this advice video made sense. I hope whatever I said really sticks with you, and I hope you learned a lesson from me. And if there's anything that you feel like I could have maybe tweaked a little bit or said better or anything like that, or anything you don't agree with, please feel free to leave comments in the comment section below. I'll respond, or I may make a response video. If you want to help me, correct me, or on anything again I might have said wrong, or anything that you think helped me, I don't know, make this video better, please let me know. I'm always open room for improvement. Anyway, thank you all again so much for watching. I love you. I'll see you next time.